Welcome back, everyone, to Rob's Daily Classics and Drivers. I found this 1971 Mercury Cougar on Craigslist a little while ago. It's an XR7. I think they were all XR7s back then, even if they weren't. It's a good-looking car before the big bumpers. Let's go check this car out. This car is found on Craigslist just a little while ago. 1971 Mercury Cougar. Great car. You don't see many of these around that often. You seldom see these at car shows and such. The Mercury Cougar from 67 to 73 was still kind of considered a pony car. They raced those cars, the early editions anyway. They raced them in Trans Am and such, and it had an interesting following. The Mercury showroom in itself was interesting in 1971. I think it was the same year that the Mercury Cougar was shared with the Capri being made in West Germany before the Berlin Wall came down. And also they had the Pantera, too, which was kind of interesting to be a Mercury dealer. Both car lines were very low volume, but the Cougar wasn't. I mean, the Cougar was an attractive car, positioned a little bit more as a mature personal luxury type car. The first two generations of the Cougar ran from 67 to 73. In 1971, it kicked off the second generation with this new flying buttress type of C-pillar that you see here, which I think is very pleasing today. This car, we'll get into this car in a little while, but it also grew in size a bit. The 351 Cleveland engine, I believe, was standard at the time. It came in a 2-barrel carburetor or a 4-barrel carburetor. I think the 4-barrel carburetor was like 280, 285 horsepower, which wasn't bad. I think you still were able to get the 429 Cobra Jet engine on the performance side with a manual transmission, but those are bring-a-trailer $50,000 cars, right? So this car here looks like, getting into the actual feature car, let's see what a person says. It says here, 1971 Mercury Cougar, low-mileage car, original its whole life, southern New Mexico history, amazing condition, 351 Cleveland. It does have the 4-barrel. Please call me. 19.5. Okay, so 19.5 is all the money and a half on this car, right? But I'm not sure you'll lose too much money on this car. I wouldn't pay 19.5 for it. I'm more in a 14.5 range, right? So we're $5,000 away from putting a deal together. $5,000 from putting a deal together in the wintertime, it might not be too difficult to overcome. I doubt he's getting any calls on this car at 19.5. He's probably getting a lot of people kicking tires, though, trying to negotiate. So this might be one of those cars that you want to keep following on the customer and maybe tire him out, with offers. But here's the interiors on these cars in the 70s. It kind of reminds me of the Pontiac Firebird. Everything was molded plastic then. The velour seats, the vinyl seats, were kind of hard. They get hard with age, not like leather. Nice trim, nice embossed Cougar. This had it looks like it has Landau type top. I don't remember that. It looks like Landau top is like covered with vinyl top there, white vinyl top, which might be very pretty. Beautiful bright work, beautiful chrome work all around the car. Has a nice stance, very muscular stance. So the car is not positioned as a luxury car. It's positioned a little bit more as a performance car, as the owner has had this car. Look at that. They had a toggle switch for the lights and the courtesy lamps, the map light, and that's pretty cool, right? Airplane type styling. Steering wheel, I don't know what happened with plastic, but it just shrunk with age, and I'm sure you can have that restored. I would think at 19.5, though, he probably should have done that if he's trying to get the money that he's trying to get on this car. But those are the things that you can beat up. The color is not the most desirable color, the yellow, but if it's all original, if this is the original paint, folks, that's amazing. I doubt it is, but it's a nice looking car if it was. It does have the better engine, the 351 Cleveland engine. It has the XR7 package, which back in those days was really just an updated suspension, probably bigger sway bars and things like that. The tires were bigger back then from the factory, and I think the cooling systems were better improved over the non-XR7. But an interesting car, a time when Mercury was kind of struggling to define who they are other than a rebadged Ford company. but the Cougar at least had taken its own design away from the Mustang, and I think they did a really nice job on this car for what it is. Again, getting into the price, 19.5. That's all the money on this car that it would be worth. I doubt you'd even get that much money on Bring a Trailer, but $14,000, 14.5 is probably where I am on this car, only because it's completely done. It looks like it's finished. I would like to see an engine bay photo. It doesn't have that, so one of the first things I would ask to make sure the car doesn't have any surface rust and things like that, that it's as nice on the outside as it is on the inside. A lot of times with cars like this, when you get under the car, it's 1971 all over again, and you're starting off, restoring everything under the car, so and going through expenses. So if the undercarriage of the car is as nice at the top side, and the engine bay looks really nice, and the engine has been updated and rebuilt during these times, it might be considered something worthwhile checking out. So there you go, 1971 Mercury Cougar, a time when Mercury dealerships were kind of discovering who they are and what they are. Get a chance to check this car out if you're local. I don't think I would travel from New York State to see this car, but I would definitely have. This car has eyes, and as I said, you had me at hello. As soon as I saw this car, I got really interested. And I think the public will continue to like this car as well, because you just don't see many Mercury Cougars from the early 1970s any longer. So there you have it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please share with friends that love cars. We'll see you back here on Rob's Daily Classics. Have a great day. Bye.